Chelsea fans, there is 1 week left of the transfer window, and as of right now, one person's come in, kind of, but is he going to go back out again? There's conspiracy theories galore, and it's all just a bit of a mess. Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. And today, we're talking transfers. We had a fantastic win against Crystal Palace yesterday, which I'm still buzzing about, to be honest, because it just feels like 4 in 5, that's the start of momentum, doesn't it? But what we're going to talk about today is transfer news and potential conspiracy theories, because as a Chelsea fan, my brain is melting and I can't do anything else apart from try and connect all of the dots together. But guys, before we get into it, if you are enjoying the content and would like to see more, please do me the distinct honour of liking and sharing the video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. Right, so the big news is literally just after we beat Crystal Palace, David Ornstein crawls out of his hole, and we haven't seen David Ornstein for a while, and it's always exciting when we do because he just drops truth bombs, right? He's less of a content creator than he is a journalist, a reporter. He works for a lot of big kind of companies and stuff, do you know what I mean? And obviously The Athletic being the main one. But Orno came out and dropped this. Exclusive! Chelsea trigger clause to recall Aaron Anselmino from Borussia Dortmund on loan. CFC evaluating the centre-back market and want 20-year-old back from Borussia Dortmund to consider next steps. So this is where my conspiracy brain has gone like into riot mode, do you know what I mean? Same option on Sarr, but Achampong likely to stay. Sale viewed as impossible. So there's so much to unpack. So much to unpack. So Jeremy Jacquet has been the preferred transfer target throughout the window. It seems that Liam Rosinia has had a lot of personally to do with that one. And ultimately, it seems like he was the player that he wanted to get in order to fit his style of football. I actually reported a while back that there was a possibility of recalling Anselmino because there was a clause in his loan contract that said if he didn't play a certain amount of minutes during the season for Borussia Dortmund, we were allowed to recall him in January. Now, that in itself is actually really unusual because Aaron Anselmino is loved at Dortmund. They actually inquired as to whether they could buy him permanently, and we said no. So the thing with the clause is a bit of a weird one because had Aaron Anselmino been fit for the entire season, chances are he easily would have made up that amount of minutes in order to scrap off that recall clause. But because he's been injured for so long, which is, again, a little bit of a worry, he didn't make the amount of minutes, right? And it's just kicking off, man. Dortmund are screwing, basically. I found these couple of tweets from PYS today as well regarding the Aaron Anselmino stuff, and it seems that he's quite upset to be leaving Dortmund, and also Dortmund are not happy. So the two tweets are one after another. The bottom one we'll start with. Dortmund bosses are peed off at Chelsea for recalling Anselmino with such little time left in the transfer window. Yeah, that makes sense, man, innit? Because he is obviously, when he's available, reasonably important for them, and he has been playing really well. So we are yanking him back with 1 week to go, and that is definitely going to ruffle some feathers. And the one just above it, Aaron Anselmino in tears as he says goodbye to Dortmund because he was absolutely loving it there as well. So sorry, I keep laughing, man. It's just whole thing's just a nightmare. I swear, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. So before we get into my crazy conspiracy theory, it's not even one conspiracy theory. It's just a potential few opportunities about what could happen with this, right? There was another post on X from Fabrizio Romano, and he's weighing into the situation. Obviously, David Ornstein got the exclusive on it coming back, but Fabrizio Romano had this to say. More business to do for Chelsea in the upcoming days after activating today recall clause for Aaron Anselmino. CFC involved in race for Jeremy Jacquet to be signed, but now for the summer. Battle ongoing with Liverpool and FC Bayern. Extra business could also happen next week. So, in true Chelsea fashion, we are leaving everything to the last minute just to give our fans heart attacks. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely nuts, isn't it? So there's a couple of things in particular about this and the David Ornstein quote that was quite telling. Obviously, Fabrizio opens this one with saying more business to do. So that's really interesting because that leads into part of my conspiracy theory, saying that maybe Aaron Anselmino isn't actually coming back to play. That's kind of one thing I'm thinking. And ultimately, it looks like that there's going to be more deals happening in the next week. The Jeremy Jacquet stuff kind of makes sense, to be honest. It was so much money to get him over in January. And again, we're going to look at some reasons maybe why this might not be all bad after all. But we could still see him in blue, maybe in the summer, but we're going to have to see what's going on. So, into my conspiracy theory, right? Aaron Anselmino albeit playing really well for Dortmund, has spent a reasonable amount of the season injured. And I say reasonable, he's been fit for most of it, but he had a quite lengthy spell out. Other than that, he's got really, really good results, really good performances. They inquired about buying him permanently, right? So it seems weird because he was developing really well over there. And you would have thought that if we weren't interested in having him in the team or using him as a potential make weight, we'll get more on that in a minute, then leaving him at Dortmund probably would have been the best thing to do for his development, to look at him in the summer to see whether it was worth selling him on or to bring him back into the squad. Now, what we're not actually seeing in any of these reports is categorically Aaron Anselmino has been recalled to play for Chelsea. He's going to be assessed, right? He's going to be assessed, apparently. So there is a chance that he gets into the Chelsea team if they think he's good enough at the moment. Now, we keep playing Badiashile at the moment, and Badiashile is still... He's been all right, but there's still a couple of scary moments, man. Do you know what I mean? A couple of scary moments with wayward passes and kind of anxiety-driven defending moments that to have to rely on Badiashile for the rest of the season, because we still can't go full in on Wesley Fofana, because ultimately, although he's back and playing, we need to be careful with him if we want to keep him, especially for next season. And Tosin Adarabioyo is out for a few weeks. Josh Achiampong thus far seems to be preferred at right back to playing in the centre, which was interesting because he actually played really well as a centre-back under Maresca, but as thus far, Liam Rosinia not looking to play him as a centre-back and more as a right-back. That's actually where a lot of the noise came from about Achiampong potentially looking to leave. Like Crystal Palace came in for him after they sold Mark Gurhey. They were like, we want Achiampong, and Achiampong was concerned, supposedly, allegedly, concerned that he wasn't going to get enough time at centre-back, which is ultimately where he saw himself, but we put the kibosh on that. He's not going anywhere. Now, Aaron Anselmino, if we bring him back, I can see potentially three outcomes, right? This is where the conspiracy hat stays firmly on. It should be a tinfoil one, not a flat cap, but, you know, whatever. Option one, Aaron Anselmino stays in the squad as an auxiliary centre-back to back up the likes of Benoit Badiashile, or to play in place of Benoit Badiashile, because he's young, he's 20, he's having a reasonably good season, but there are worries about the injury stuff, right? Obviously, the Premier League's a really physical league. So if there is a worry about a reoccurrence of that injury, bringing him back to play in the squad ultimately would be pointless. Second option, maybe use him in a make weight to get a better price on Jeremy Jacquet and secure him for the next window, right? So in that case, we do keep Benoit Badiashile as our backup. Maybe Tosin comes in and gets a few more minutes. We send Aaron Anselmino out to Rennes kind of now and use that as like we'll send you this guy now and we'll get Jacquet in the summer. I don't know whether it's a case of Jacquet's choosing between the clubs, because obviously Liverpool and Bayern Munich have been mentioned, or whether it's a case of like it's a free-for-all and whoever's willing to offer the best deal. You would have to think at the moment, 20-year-old Aaron Anselmino, despite the injuries, playing really well in Dortmund, 20-30 mil probably. Do you know what I mean? So that's in and around over half of what we'd be looking to pay for Jacquet anyway. So I do see that. Now the other one, which was mentioned in one of the tweets before, so I think it was Ornstein said there's the same option with Mamadou Sarr, who has just won AFCON at 18, 19 years old, playing in the centre of a back three. He's very familiar with Rossinia's style of football, which is one of the reasons we were looking at Jeremy Jacquet in the first place. He is a little bit younger, but he's been playing a lot. Like I say, not only did he just win AFCON, he's been a starter for Strasbourg throughout this season. Is Aaron Anselmino going to be used as a make weight in order for us to bring Mamadou Sarr back and send Aaron Anselmino to Strasbourg on loan? That makes the most sense financially because that doesn't cost us anything, right? We bring Aaron Anselmino back, doesn't cost us anything. Loan him to Strasbourg, doesn't cost us anything. Bring Mamadou Sarr to Chelsea, doesn't cost us anything because he's already our player. Do you know what I mean? We bought him last summer. He made one or two small appearances in the Club World Cup, but he's gone on to have a really good season since. So that's it. That's the conspiracy theory at ya right now. What do I think would be the best of these to happen? Looking at our situation right now, number 3, I think, would be the best one to happen. Mamadou Sarr coming into the squad to bolster our defence right now, I think that would probably be the best option for the squad this season in order to, at the end of the day, like, Mamadou Sarr is playing better than Benoit Badiashile is. He's being trusted more over at Strasbourg and obviously was trusted to win AFCON, do you know what I mean? Which is a really tough tournament, man. He's gone up against some big hitters in that tournament, so he's got experience. Although he's younger than Aaron Anselmino, he's got more experience and he's played at a really high level a lot quite recently, and there's no injury stuff to worry about thus far. Do you know what I mean? Thus far. Cross fingers, touch my desk, which is made of wood. So the second one, I guess, would probably be keep him in the squad now, because we need centre-back reinforcements. It would be worrying if we end this window with no one coming in to bolster the defence at the end of the day. Axel Disasi is being talked about. That, for me, is a massive red flag that I am waving my invisible red flag around, because that, like, I just don't want to see Disasi back in the squad, man. I just don't. I know players can reinvigorate their careers under new managers, but I think Aaron Anselmino has been playing, albeit injured, has actually been playing football professionally for the first half of the season. And Badiashile and Tosin, I would feel better about giving Anselmino a chance over continuing with Tosin and Badiashile at the moment. Tosin's probably going to get sold in the summer anyway, because he's only got 2 years left on his deal. Badiashile has got longer left on his deal, I think. He's still quite young, and we could probably at least recoup the money we spent on him, and I do see him being sold in the future as well. Third of the three options that I would probably choose is the Jacquet one. I think it's difficult, because I am, for me, and obviously, you know, I am not Bluco, I'm not Liam Rosinia. These guys have got one eye on the future, of course. But what I want to see is something coming right now. We're doing really well at the moment, don't get me wrong. Like Liam Rosinia, 4 in 5, absolutely brilliant. But he obviously thinks he needs a centre-back, which is why we went in for Jacquet in the first place. And even that admission makes me feel if we weren't to get anyone in this window to reinforce ourselves for the rest of the season, that'd be a worry. So while Jeremy Jacquet might be a fantastic player, he looks really good. I did a deep dive into his stats a little while ago, and why he looks ultimately better than Tosin Adarabioyo and Benoit Badiashile. I think securing him for the summer would be great. Do you know what I mean? But then I don't know, man. I don't know. If we secure him for the summer, but then we send out Aaron Anselmino to them to make this happen, that's a little bit of a worry, isn't it? So guys, let me know what you think about this. Jeremy Jacquet, I don't know, is the honest answer. Mamadou Sarr is already our player, and that to me just seems to make the most sense. Keeping Aaron Anselmino around, yeah, okay, he's having a good season. Do you know what I mean? He looks decent at the end of the day. He does look decent. And Dortmund wanted to buy him. Dortmund were willing to purchase him. So that in itself is a good thing. The only thing that worries me about it really is the injury stuff. A lot of people in my comments and a few discussions I've been having on live streams and stuff recently seem to be quite focused on having a left-footed centre-back. I generally don't think that's really a massive issue, man. I think that it can create balance. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, we've seen it with Levi Colwill and stuff, obviously, and Badiashile as well, but I don't think it's the be-all and end-all. I think if you look at our best centre-back pairing at the moment, it's Fofana and Chalobah, and when they were getting clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet, balance from Trevor Chalobah not being left-footed didn't really seem to be much of an issue. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not particularly worried about that. We literally won a league with Cesar Azpilicueta playing left back with a right foot. Do you know what I mean? It's like it can help with balance and it can add something, but that's not something I'm particularly worried about. So yeah, guys, let me know. I'd love to know what you think in the comments. Aaron Anselmino is back at Chelsea and being assessed. Do we keep him? Do we use him as a makeweight for the Jacquet deal to confirm that for the summer? Or do we send him to Strasbourg in order to bring Mamadou Sarr back to reinforce us for the rest of the season? Oh, what a mental stuff. What an absolute nightmare all of this stuff is. So on top of that, you know, we'll start wrapping up the video with another couple of little bits of news. We've got a new player that has come in and we've got a player that's sticking around. Josh Achiampong, as mentioned in one of the tweets, not being sold. That's a great thing, man. It's actually a weird one because I think Josh Achiampong at Crystal Palace is a good idea for his development, but I want to see him in a Chelsea shirt. You know, would you remember the situation we had with Levi Colwill? He got loaned out to Brighton, played really, really, really well for Brighton, and we had to really convince him to stick around for the Chelsea project when he came back. Do you know what I mean? Because there was lots of people interested in him. Liverpool wanted him. Do you know what I mean? They were willing to drop big cash on him, but we managed to convince Levi Colwill to stick around. I am concerned the same thing might happen with Josh Achiampong. We loan Josh Achiampong to Palace. He goes there, plays really, really well. Loads of other teams are smacking their lips and they're like, oh, we'll have a bit of that. And then we've got a massive job on our hands in order to convince him to stay. Now, I really want Josh Achiampong to stay. I want him to be part of the squad. I feel like we still need to prove to academy players that there is a pathway into the first team and you are not just assets that are going to be grown and sold. Do you know what I mean? Like some sort of laboratory environment where we grow players and sell them for profit. Like, you know, that is going to be a thing, but I think it will be easier if we can convince, like, look at Reece James and, Levi Colwill, and if we can keep Josh Achiampong around, I think that is good. That sends a good message to the academy, right? So, the other thing, there was one more tweet to look at, and it is regarding a player I know absolutely nothing about, but he is now a Chelsea player, so we're going to take a look at it anyway. Fabrizio Romano confirms, Chelsea confirmed deal completed to sign 17-year-old fullback Yissa Alau. I'm very sorry if I've got that wrong. Please let me know if I have, and you know how to pronounce his name in the comments. From Sheffield Wednesday, contract until 2028. So, on the face of it, a 17-year-old. Here we go again. Do you know what I mean? We've been there, we've done that, we've bought lots of young kids. He probably goes into the academy. He's been playing for Sheffield Wednesday, which is good, do you know what I mean? And we've obviously signed him because there's lots of potential and stuff, but I don't necessarily see this as one that's like, yeah, you're coming in to, do you know what I mean? You're coming in to play loads of football. The interesting thing about this one, the contract is only until 2028, so that's a 2-year deal, man, basically. He'll probably, 3-year deal. No, 2.5-year deal. That's unusual because we have been signing people on really long contracts for a while now, do you know what I mean? So because of this might be the first time we see a youngster that we really wanted and fits the model be looking at everything that's been going on with us, all these players signing these really long contracts and being like, I don't want to put myself in that situation, and he's only signed for 2.5 years. So the interesting thing about that is we'll find out what happens with him a lot quicker. Do you know what I mean? You think about like Cole Palmer and, Enzo Fernandez and all these other players that have signed like decades-long contracts or whatever. Ultimately, Bluecoat are in pretty much complete control over whether those players get sold. They can agitate for moves and they can agree to sell them, but ultimately it won't be for a price that doesn't work for the club. We won't lose any money on those because they've signed up for so long. This one, 2.5 years. So is this the beginning of a turning point? And it could be a positive one. Do you know what I mean? It could be a positive one. These, if this player has negotiated with Chelsea, yeah, I'll come and sign for you, but I'm not signing on an 8-year deal or a 9-year deal or a 10-year deal or whatever. Interesting. I'd like to know what you guys think about that in the comments. Either way, sure, he's a good player. And the thing is, the right-back spot in the squad is pretty stocked at the moment, isn't it? Reece James is playing back there now. We've still got Malagusto, and Josh Achiampong has also been seen there recently. So I don't see instant pathway into the first team. Maybe he comes into the academy. Maybe he gets loaned out next season. We'll have to see what happens. Nice one, guys. I'm going to wrap the video up there. Thank you very much for sticking around until the end if you did. 1 week until the end of the transfer window, man. We haven't heard anything else about Douglas Luiz, but according to Fabrizio Romano, more deals are going to be done. This is going to be a crazy week, I think. I hope it's going to be a crazy week, actually, because if you think about January, it can be quiet. The first half of January was almost completely dominated by the Maresca news, and that was all a bit sad, bit negative, and now we're winning games again, and now we get to start actually talking about some transfer news. So hopefully this week is a bit crazy for transfer news, and I can bring it all to you. Thank you very much. Nice one, guys. I'll catch up with you all very, very soon. Take it easy. Peace.